We're going to talk about who has the right of tafsir. Who can actually do the tafsir? Who is the proper mufassir of the Quran? We're going to talk about the history of tafsir. When did tafsir of the Quran begin? Did it take place during the time of Rasulullah? Did it start taking place after Rasulullah? And how did the tafsir of the Quran develop over history to where we have it right now? Right now, you have some scholars, they'll write you 20 volumes about the Quran. So you could see that there is a development in the understanding of the Quran. We're going to talk about key terms that are used. What are some words that are used in tafsir, so that when you are reading a tafsir of the Quran, when you see these terms, you'll be able to understand the Quran properly. We're going to be talking about the various methods and approaches to tafsir. So there are various ways that scholars have approached tafsir. There is one type of tafsir which is referred to as tafsir al-Quran bil-Quran, where you interpret the Quran, a verse from the Quran, by using another verse in the Quran to try to understand it. This is one type of tafsir. There is another tafsir, is tafsir al-Quran bil-Hadith, understanding the Quran through analyzing hadith. But here is a problem. Which hadith should we go to? Should I go to hadith of any of the companions of the Prophet, or should I go to the hadith of the ones who the Prophet told me to go to? This is also an area of difference. There is tafsir al-Quran bil-aql, using the power of the intellect and the power of logic and the philosophy and things like that to try to understand the Quran. This is also something that's very common. There is tafsir al-Quran bil-ra'i, where some people, they just read a verse and they come and they give their own opinion without resorting to any background information, anything of substance. And this is something that is wrong if it's not done properly. Today we find, for example, tafsir al-Mizan by Tabatabai. He has a mixture of all of these. And the contemporary tafsir right now, they have a mixture of all of these, what we mentioned. They use some of the verses of the Quran to interpret the Quran. They use philosophy to interpret the Quran. They use hadith to interpret the Quran. There are some tafsir that just go into the ahkam, the jurisprudence. For example, a risala amaliya, basically a book of laws, that just relies upon the tafsir of the Quran, just relies upon the verses of the Quran. This is also a type of tafsir. So this is why this is a very important topic. There are some that use a sociological, psychological approach towards tafsir. These are probably you find in the contemporary era. Some people use this type of understanding, this type of approach towards understanding the Quran.